Welcome to the Bite Size Fitness Show, where we talk all things fitness, nutrition, and habits, and break them down into smaller, more digestible, bite-sized pieces of content for you to enjoy. My name is Sean Bykirk, and I am your host, and in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about net carbs, a term that you may or may not be familiar with. If you've been tracking your carbs for some time now, you've probably heard this before or seen it on a label, but I'll break it down, explain what it means, whether or not you should be concerned with it or not. So the whole concept here is that there is an idea that not all carbs affect the body the same. And it's important to understand that this term was originally coined by food manufacturers. So take that into consideration when assessing whether or not this is a tool you want to implement in your diet. So very basic equation here. We have net carbs equals total carbohydrates minus fiber minus sugar alcohols. And the reason they take these two things here, the fiber and the sugar alcohols, for two reasons. Number one, they tend to have a lower glycemic index, so they don't have these really quick spikes in your blood sugar, and they're more slowly digestible. The second reason is because they're not fully absorbed. So not all the calories you get from fiber or sugar alcohols are absorbed, so you do end up excreting some of them, but not all. Okay, so the calories still do count. So don't use that as an excuse to just go and eat as much of it as you want because you think that they're not absorbing it. Your body still is absorbing a good amount of calories from these. We can also agree, for the most part, that fiber has health-promoting benefits. So the reason fiber doesn't get fully absorbed is because when you take in fiber, it goes down the digestive system and it scrapes away some of these toxins and gets excreted. So not all the calories you take in from fiber is actually utilized in the body. With the sugar alcohols, on the other hand, while it's true that not all of the calories get absorbed into the body, they don't have the same health-promoting benefits that you would get from fiber. So if companies wanted to use fiber as an exemption for carbohydrates, I would understand that. Whether or not you think it's true or not, or you agree with that, it's understandable. You can make a case for it. With sugar alcohols, you can't really make that case. There are no objective health-promoting benefits. And if you're not familiar with these are, they're often found in like artificial sweeteners. And we just haven't done enough research to really know what the long-term implications are to our health, to our physique, to all that stuff. It's important that you read nutrition labels very, very carefully when assessing net carbs, because companies don't have to list sugar alcohol content on the labels. And a lot of companies will use marketing to, I don't want to say intentionally deceive you or misinform you, but to kind of get you to draw your attention towards their product. And you see this a lot with lower carb products, Atkins products, higher protein. Basically, their target demographic is people like us that are really concerned with our health, our physique, probably maybe want to lose some weight. And a protein bar is a perfect example. You'll see a lot of protein bars front and center, right on their label, they'll say 2 or 3 grams of net carbs. Now, if you don't really know what net carbs are, and your entire diet is predicated on low carb, then you might see this as an opportunity to just go wild, eat as much of this as you want because it's only 2 or 3 grams of carbs. But that's not true. If you were to actually flip the bar around, look at the nutrition label, you'll see most of these bars have anywhere between 15 to 20 grams of carbs total, and then only like 2, 3, maybe 4 grams of fiber. And you might be wondering, where's the rest of the carbohydrate intake coming from? It's coming from those sugar alcohols that they don't have to list on the label, and they use that as an exemption to include as net carbs. Okay, so what I would do is I would either, if you want to use this as a tool, really familiarize yourself with how it works, really study the labels. I wouldn't include sugar alcohols. If you want to use total carbs minus fiber, by all means go for it. But for me personally, I would look at a few things instead. I would look at total calories, because calorie intake is always going to be way more important than overall carb intake when it comes to fat loss, by far. I would also look at protein intake, and then I would also look at fiber intake. I wouldn't worry too much about the total carbs. If my calories are in check, my protein's on point, my fiber is looking good, I wouldn't worry as much about the carbs or the net carbs. But if you do, that's totally up to you. It's just something that you need to be aware of. Okay, so I hope this video helps. See you guys in the next one.